Part 2. Once Turned Widdershins. Every story has a door. Some remember being opened. Chapter 3. The Rules. The Otherworld was beautiful and cruel. It was a place of golden meadows that echoed songs without singers, of lakes that reflected only your fears, of foxes that whispered riddles as they vanished into the underbrush. Time here was not linear, nor entirely voluntary. Vera sometimes woke before she slept, meals reversed on her tongue, her own voice delayed in her ears. Kaelin taught her the rules. Always leave an offering where you take water. Never follow a melody deeper than you can see. Don't speak your full name aloud. And never accept anything wrapped in ivy, she learned quickly. And Kaelin was a patient teacher. They travelled together, from the river of forgotten kin to the Black Hollow Market. He introduced her to beings who called themselves weavers, echoes, root walkers. She listened. She wrote in the grimoire the world had offered her, a book made of pressed leaves and thread. Kaelin told her stories of his past, of oaths broken and sisters lost, of the turning of worlds and what it meant to love someone who remembered too much. She kissed him the fifth night, beneath a moon with 3 faces and a sky threaded with silver birds. He kissed her back once, carefully, as if she were made of glass. Chapter 4. The Visitors. It began with silence, not the gentle hush of snow or the solemn quiet of an empty church, but a silence so vast and sudden it pressed against Vera's chest, like a weight. The trees stopped moving. The grasses ceased their rustling. Even the ever-present whisper of the wind threading through Kaelin's hollow was simply gone. Kaelin stood at the doorway of his dwelling, tense and still. His breath plumed in the sudden cold. "They're coming," he said. Vera followed his gaze. Across the glade, 3 figures emerged, not walking, not quite floating, but moving with a kind of inevitability that made the hairs on Vera's arms rise. They were tall, robed in shadow stitched with tiny pinpricks of light, like constellations cut from night. Their faces were blank. No eyes, no mouth, only smooth, glass-like surfaces that distorted the forest around them. They spoke in unison, but their voices came from everywhere and nowhere, resonating inside Vera's ribs. Did she come with true purpose? Did she name the price before entering? Did she take what was not given? Kaelin stepped forward, his posture proud but trembling. He held up one hand, palm outward. She came by the will of the arch. She bears no iron, no oath-breaker's mark. She seeks knowledge, not dominion. The tallest figure tilted its head as if tasting his words. She smells of longing, it whispered. Another replied, and regret. She may remain, said the third, but she will owe. Then they turned without footsteps or motion and faded into the trees. Vera turned to Kaelin. What do they mean, Arlo? They are the Watchers, he said. They oversee the balance between worlds. If you remain, the world must take something back. What happens if I leave? You may find your way home, or you may forget who you are. The longer you stay, the more tangled the threads become. That night, the stars above the glade shifted into patterns she didn't recognize. The moon turned the color of bone, and Vera dreamed of doorways with teeth. Part 3. Once Turned Widdershins. Every story has a door. Some remember being opened. Chapter 5. The Token. The changes came gradually, then all at once. The woods grew restless. Trees whispered in languages she didn't know but instinctively feared. The river behind Kaelin's home flowed backward, then vanished altogether, leaving only cracked stones and the scent of ash. Vera noticed her reflection lingering too long in still water. Her shadow no longer matched her gestures. Words in her grimoire rewrote themselves in looping, inhuman script. Kaelin became distant. His warmth faded. His touch left behind frost. I'm being unstitched, he said one evening, not looking at her. Piece by piece. I've broken the balance by keeping you safe. She tried to protest, but he only shook his head. Don't speak. Just listen. He handed her a small object wrapped in linen and bound with thorn thread. She opened it to reveal a disc of polished stone, etched with an ancient glyph that pulsed faintly beneath her fingers. This is a tether, he said. When the wind shifts counterclockwise, Widdershins, and you hear bells beneath the earth, hold it tight. Walk backward through the arch, speak no name, offer no thanks. What if I stay? Kaelin's expression darkened. Then the world will bind you to it. You will forget your name. You will become someone else. That night, she dreamed of mirrors cracking from the inside and of Kaelin bound in a circle of salt, weeping violet tears. Chapter 6. The Return. It came with a scent first, rosemary, burnt sugar, and earth after lightning. Then the wind turned. Not simply changed direction, but shifted, rewound, like breath being sucked back into lungs too old to hold it. The bells sounded soon after, faint and distant, as though a cathedral far beneath the ground had stirred. Vera stood at the arch. Kaelin was nowhere to be seen, but she felt him, like a presence just behind the veil. She clutched the token. It burned cold in her palm. I'm sorry, she whispered. The air within the arch began to shimmer again, colours bending in impossible ways. She took a step forward, then another, walking backward as instructed. The world folded. Sound fell away. She landed in her car seat, heart hammering. Her coat was damp with dew. Her hands still clutched the token. Her phone buzzed furiously. Missed calls, emails, dates she didn't remember passing. A full week, maybe more. The arch stood silent in the field, unchanged. She returned to her lectures. Her students noticed a shift. Her voice carried weight it hadn't before. Her gaze lingered too long on doorways. She never spoke of Kaelin, but every month she drove back to the field. She parked by the fence. She waited. And when the wind turned Widdershins, she listened. The end. If this story woke something within you, something ancient, curious, or just a little haunted, subscribe for more tales of cursed tokens, forgotten doorways, and the magic that lingers where it shouldn't.